Matter of fact, hold, pause. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. I told y'all we was going to talk about this nigga, thick thighs, Diddy, wide hips, bitch, Diddy, and now we are. Now's the time. This time is the time.
I don't hear nobody out there. Hold it down.
I disappeared after Big's death. It was like I'd never been signed to a record label, like I didn't have an album that was still selling briskly. I was Faith Evans, a single mother of 2 children living in central New Jersey. In the immediate aftermath, after Big's death, I was in transition with management. Queen Latifah and Shakim Compure's Flavor Unit management had been getting tour dates for me and were very supportive after Big's death. Many people sent gifts to me and Mrs. Wallace through Flavor Unit, and they made sure we received them. We got thoughtful presents from perfect strangers who sent paintings of Big and Coogee blankets in honor of his favorite clothing line. I also received a book on spirituality from Quincy Jones and his daughter, Kadada, who had been dating Tupac at the time of his death. I was really touched that they thought of me, and the inscription in the book from both of them was sweet. For the first time in my entire life, music had taken a back seat. I wasn't writing. I wasn't performing. I didn't even sing around the house anymore. I was in my own world. I wanted to know who was responsible for Big's death. Miss Wallace was making a lot of calls to the Los Angeles Police Department for that. And I tried to make myself available for any questions she had. I had so many questions to answer. I wanted to know who'd killed Big and why. And we know years and years later after Big's death that the death of Tupac and Biggie was a call from Puff Daddy and Suge Knight. Suge Knight ordered and paid for Biggie's death. Puff Daddy ordered and paid for Tupac's death. Ciao. Matter of fact, hold, pause. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. I told y'all we was going to talk about this nigga, thick thighs, Diddy, wide hips, bitch, Diddy, and now we are. Now's the time. This time is the time. I always say in life, you never know yourself until you see yourself, because you know how as human beings we can judge other people and yet have the same bullshit going on. From time to time, I have to check somebody and be like, hold the fuck up, wait a minute. So you mad at her for being with a nigga that cheated on her. Okay, you mad about that. But you ain't mad because you with a nigga that beat on you? It's like people find reasons or the smallest nuances to think that they're somehow better than the next person. It's like they can see the error in everyone else but themselves. What happened was a video was released by CNN over the weekend, right? It was a video from 2016 where Cassie went into the hallway or escaped to the hallway. She was trying to get away from the ninja, okay? The ninja came out in a pair of socks and a towel. Okay, let's put that over there, right? Now, we all know, Blink, that if that man had something to work with, then we would have seen that action flopping around from underneath that towel. I ain't seen nothing flopping. But for years, you hear me? For years, since the 90s, they were saying that part of the reason why Diddy is such a demon is because he is mad at the Lord for giving him a 2-year-old. So let's get back to the video clip. So Cassie gets to the elevator. She pushed the button to wait for the elevator. I don't know if I would have did that. I would have probably ran for them steps. Fuck that elevator, right? He meets her at the elevator with, like I said, some socks and a towel on. He commenced to kicking and punching her, then decides to drag her back into the room, I guess, where they came from. Child, oh my God, that thing was all over the internet. You hear me? Oh my God, Beyonce's internet is so quick, so fast. As a result of that, Puff Daddy came to Beyonce's internet and apologized for his actions. He says he's getting help. He says that he's checking himself into rehab and that he was really, really fucked up. Taking it back to when I said you don't know yourself until you see yourself. Some people cannot see their own mistakes. But when you have your reflection of who you are right there in your face, you see yourself. And you do not know yourself until you see yourself. You don't know how much of an asshole you are. You don't know how much of a what is that word? Killjoy you are. Diddy is apologizing. He's saying that he is disgusted with himself and he's going to rehab. Good for you. Good for you. But for some reason, I do not believe that was his wake-up call. I do not believe that is the first time that he saw himself in that negative light. Because don't forget, Diddy's supposed to have cameras all over his house. So he's seen his demonic behavior, okay? Whether it was in that room with whatever man or woman, he's seen his behavior before. But somebody that he respects or pays told him to go in front of the camera and make your apology. Okay? 50 Cent say that he doesn't understand why he did this. This is not going to help his case at all. To me, it absolutely will, because whenever you throw addiction into it, it's like wipe everything clean, because that excuses a lot of behavior that people don't understand, like kicking a girl in the face. You got to start from point A. Point A is you need to get help for the drugs, but everybody understands addiction, whether it be food, whether it be alcohol, whether it be drugs, whether it be bitches, whatever it is, everybody understands addiction. So people's heart will soften to the fact that he is an addict. Now, Diddy, if you think for 1 second that the people that are watching you don't think that you didn't put your hands on all your females. So to also piggyback off of the Cassie situation, Misa wrote a post on Instagram stating how watching the video of Diddy being brutal to Cassie brung back traumatic memories for herself. And the exact wording that Misa used was empathize. Empathize is very different from sympathize. Empathize means that I've been there before. I understand where you're coming from. Sympathize means, oh, I feel bad for you. Empathize, I feel and understand and have felt what you are feeling right now. Misa and Mary J. Blige used to take trips over there to the West Coast all the time. Diddy was being so dirty to Misa that she had to get away from the nigga and fly over there to the West Coast. Let's not forget that is a bad boy female trait. Them ninjas on the East Coast piss them off, and they run over there to the West Coast and go get them some West Coast. If there was an East Coast, West Coast beef, it wasn't just because of Faith. Maybe Faith was the face of the East Coast, West Coast beef. But let's not forget, Mary J. Blige ran her ass over there and was trying to hunch on Tupac. It ain't work for her. Tupac ain't want none of her. Misa ran over there and sat on Suge Knight's face. That's what them girls did. It's just Faith was the face of it. So let's not forget that. Diddy's ghetto ass mother called over there to Suge Knight and said, Suge, can you please send back Misa and Justin? That's their son. Diddy's in the hospital. He tried to hurt himself. So let's not forget, them bad boy bitches been hunching on them West Coast dudes. Then somebody else made a comment. I forgot where I'd seen this at. But they said they wouldn't be surprised that Diddy wouldn't hurt himself. That he would do anything to try to obtain sympathy, because that's the manipulation of it all. Misa, I wish you would just come out and say that motherfucker so volatile that he will hurt you, and then if he can't get the reaction or the action that he wants from you, then he'll hurt himself. I had so many questions to answer. I wanted to know who'd kill Big and why. I wanted to know if I was going to be strong enough to make it through without him. When was I going to sing again? Girl, you're going to make it through without him because you've been without him. You've been without the merge longer than you've been with the merge, girl, so you'll be okay. A few weeks later, Whitney Houston reached out to me. Now, of course, Whitney and I are both from Newark, and she's always been a legend to me, but I didn't know her well. The first time I met her was at a Clive Davis's legendary pre-Grammy party back in 1995. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't this a bitch? And that's where the Whitney Houston died, going to one of them Clive Davis's legendary pre-Grammy parties. Ain't this a bitch?
Hey, do my favorite go-go song. Taking a ride on the east side, made a left on MLK. What a beautiful day, what a beautiful day. Riding high on the west side, looking for a hood rat to play. Won't you come out and play, won't you come out and play. Hey, taking a ride, hey, hey, on the south side, ooh, ooh, MLK. Hey, 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 we like that good. Say what?